Okay, my name is John Contreras, and this is just my showcase of my final animation and just answering a few questions. To showcase, just to answer the few questions, how did I find the Unity animation workflow? It's for me, it was pretty simple. I had an idea beforehand where usually you can just select whatever object you need to. For example, let's say this ball. There's usually an animation window open, but if not, you can always go to the window in the animation tab right there. And then you could start a new animation and create a new clip in which in this one I did like a simple ball animation with a stretch and squash. So with that, did I understand the function of the dope sheet and curve editor? So the ball I didn't use the curve for, but for my human animation, I did use a couple curves to like I tried adjusting a few of them just to get an idea, like just to make it look a little bit more smoother. And thankfully, I had an idea because of Maya. What is an animation clip or an animator component? So usually you can utilize that within your game, which you can have different animations. Which I was gonna have one walking across, but I didn't have time for that. But you can usually find ways to implement that in code, so then you can do transitions and transition from like if you were to move, you can activate the moving component or the moving animation component. And then how does an animation key framework? How does it work? Is just usually you have keys that you can do and you can like import it the way you need to. Not import it, you can oh yeah, you can insert it and you can create your own animation that way by doing specific keyframes but and do in-betweens, but you can also click the record button to just do it live. And just to showcase, this is my final walking animation. It supposedly looks like this. And it's not like the smoothest in the world, but I think it was okay. I was able to get a good amount of smooth movement with the arms and the forearms, just that it was a little difficult to make it a smooth loop. I did speed up the animation in the final thing, so if I were to show it, it would look like this. So it can look a little bit more natural, and he has a little bouncy movement to him, but I think it turned out pretty well. And yeah, that is my final animation. It took a while, but thankfully I was able to just work with several parts just to get it to work well. And yeah, I think my biggest mistake is putting this head as the host because if I were to rotate, it would rotate the whole body, sadly. But I think overall I learned a lot, and yeah, I think this is a good animation.